Brodes Media.
And my biggest takeaway out of everything, and I love the two-man game between these two, and I can't wait to bring up 6,000 examples that blow my mind. But when I watch Tyrese Maxey take the three to pretty much put the dagger in the victory, when Joel Embiid passes you the ball, look, put yourself in his perspective, or in his shoes, I should say, and look at it from that perspective. You're playing with the best player on the planet. There's also James Harden on your team. I want the moment. Give me the moment. I want to take the three. And he drilled the step back with ease. Last year, he shot the ball 30% from behind the arc. This year, he's taken way more threes. He's way more confident, and he wants the shot at the end. Think about being in your second year playing with Joel and go, no. That's cute. I want it. And that's basically what we have in Maxey. Well, James Harden after the game admits, I barely know any plays. I'm just out there casually letting it go. This is him casually just playing the game with this free-for-all type of effort of go out there, try and communicate a little bit more, see what some of the players like, get them the ball and distribute it where they feel most comfortable. There'll be hiccups. There'll be some possessions you would like to have back, but just go out there, and from there we can adjust what we love and what we don't like so much, and then we can even tweak some more and figure out what we can do better. But this is just the let's see what we have style of play. And in case you didn't realize, this style of let's just see what happens, you can't stop them. Don't bitch and complain that the game's too long or something along the lines of the fouls are too aggressive. The reason why the other team is putting Embiid to the line, the amount of times that they do, is because you can't stop him. It's because he has so many tools in his bag that you have to guess. And even if you guess correctly, you're not good enough to stop him. So why is this happening? The Sixers are too damn good. That's why the fouls are happening. It's not the referees just calling calls just to call them. They cannot stay in front of the big man. They cannot stay in front of James Harden if he's driving. There were so many times that I loved beautifully watching. I didn't love the fact that the Sixers were in this position where they needed to stop the bleeding. But when the blood had to be stopped, here's James Harden with an answer. Whether it was a step back followed by a drive and fouled as he drew contact, and then another step back in that sequence, or there's just, hey, I'm with bench guys, and it's not the most beautiful brand. Let me slow it down. See, sometimes you have to rely on your head coach. There's a 12-2 push by New York. There's a 10-0 run by New York. I'm just spitballing some numbers here, right? And then it's like, hey, Doc, why don't you slow things down? When you have superstars and very high IQ individuals that have the ball in their hands majority of the game, they know how to do that within the game. Slow it down, get fouled, answer with the shot of your own that you know you're going to cash in on, which then obviously changes the run that the opposing team is on. James Harden, I love to just utilize the quarterback as the perfect example of what he does. And it's not just distributing the ball as a passer, but then it's also when you're utilizing the pick and you're coming around the screen, dribbling the basketball, he fully lets it play out. There's poise. There's patience. Do I hit Embiid rolling? And by the way, how many times do we see that executed perfectly? Where as he's actually rolling, two-handed slam with a powerful dunk down the lane, or it's an alley-oop. Not that I'm surprised, because Joel Embiid gets better in every single damn area. Whatever he does, he shows up and he performs even better as the weeks move forward. Whether it's three-point shooting, whether it's post presence, whether it's passing, whether it's feeling out whatever defense is throwing their way, he has matured in every area. Knowing James Harden was going to be your point guard, that, yeah, I figured within 5, 6, 7 games that the pick and roll would be somewhere that would make us feel comfortable. And here we are 2 games in, and this is magnificent. And it's not just hitting Embiid, but let's say that he sees what's developing with his eyes, and now it's Maxey that's wide open, that now has a lane to go a straight line, and then maybe utilize the floater, or maybe it's a mid-range game, or he's just not afraid to shoot it. So it's not just about what Embiid does in the role, but it's how the role opens up the entire court for everybody else involved. And that's why I'm just in awe of him reading the defense. We haven't seen that. Not because I'm surprised. I knew he could. The history of James Harden told me that he will be just fine. I've seen his style of play, and I know how dominant it is. His passing game, he averaged just under Chris Paul, the second most assists in the NBA at this season to this point. And now you put him in a role to play as a primary point guard instead of playing with a Brooklyn Nets team that had Kyrie sometimes, but a very ball-dominant perimeter player. Kevin Durant, a very ball-dominant perimeter player. You didn't see this coming. I figured it would happen. It's just I'm now appreciating it in the moment. That's the difference. I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. 16 apples, 16 dishes, and finding so many different players in so many different ways and putting them in great positions to succeed. That's great. I'm not surprised. The dude doesn't just fall just into 10 assists per game with Brooklyn. You don't just accidentally get that. You're good at it. You're damn good. And now you're seeing triple doubles. This dude's electric. He's dynamic. He's a top 75 player in NBA history. He's a Hall of Famer. So all this noise and reaction to, oh, James, why didn't you expect this? Why didn't you expect great players to play great together and actually do lethal damage? Let me know. Please, let me know. Now, Tobias Harris, we've been through it. Bad game. Really bad game. I understand. It's awful. But I'm not ruling him out. Look what the team did without him. He's not a 3-for-9 guy. Last game, he was 2 for 9. He's not that atrocious. And that major three, give him credit. He was a plus 25, too. He was a team high in plus minus. That doesn't mean that he gets to escape without getting any sort of blame, because he was problematic for sure. I thought he created separation nicely with like a spin around move right at that free throw line and then came up very short. His confidence right now is definitely low. I've seen him work himself out of a jam, though, earlier this year, where it was this style of play, responded with a 5-week span of some good hoops. So I do feel deep down that you've seen enough out of Tobias Harris in his entire career to know that he's not a 2-for-9, a 3-for-9 type of player. I would like him to be more in that 12 range, although he did have 4 free throws. So you kind of had him in that 11 range or so. But give it time. It was brutal. It was ugly. But give Tobias time, because I've seen too much out of Tobias to say this is who he is. You're working with essentially a new quarterback. And other players have implemented themselves very well. But with Tobias, and it's not why Charles Barkley thought it was going to happen. Barkley thought he would take awful shots all night long because he would try to get his. He's not taking a lot of shots. He's finishing with 9 shots or so. So he's just missing, especially in Minnesota, just missing shots that he normally makes. So I'm willing to give him more time. This team is a damn good team, and I think that there's a lot of positives to focus on, more so than the negatives. 16 dimes from your point guard. Oh, you're going to miss so much in Ben Simmons and his facilitation. Oh, it's going to be so ugly. You got a better facilitator. You absolutely did. He can grab rebounds, too. So I know this team, sometimes it's irritating to see Julius Randle grab some boards, kick it back out for Quickly or anybody else to get another shot. Fournier, you name it. I can't stand it from that aspect, but he could rebound. He could rebound very well. 5 steals, too. Not that he's a defensive warrior, but I don't want to downplay those 5 steals. Now, Matisse Thybulle was excellent at cutting. He realized when that he should move off the ball, and he's recognizing, based off of where some of these players are and the way the defenses are being drawn out to them, that Thybulle has an open space in the paint, and there were some good dishes involved and just good knowledge by Matisse. And I tell people all the time that you are in a great position to succeed when your superstar talent is James Harden and Joel Embiid. So they will make up for flaws on other players within your starting 5. Now, Matisse Thybulle cannot shoot the basketball. It's just reality of the situation. I do not feel good ever when the ball leaves his tips. fingertips. And there was even a time in this game where Harden passed up a wide open look to see Thybulle wide open next to him. Go, what are you doing? I'll live and die with a Harden 3 over a Thybulle 3. Be more selfish, James. James, please, I don't ever want to see that again. I don't ever want to see a Thybulle 3 again. I want you to take a shot while 5 guys are contesting you from the logo, overpassing it to Matisse Thybulle there, please. But in all seriousness, if he just cutted and gave you, I don't know, 6 points in 35 minutes of play off of 3 cuts, can your superstar talent make up for the deficiencies that a Matisse Thybulle has, that a Doc Rivers has, that some of these players do? Because even the greatest teams that win championships, the LeBron James-led Miami Heat, not their entire team was fantastic. They had plenty of role guys that were just guys and had issues. But but Bosh and Wade and LeBron, they did their thing and made the team rise to the next level. And that's why even when I hear this nonsense about Harden, he's out of shape, he doesn't want to be out there, it's full of crap. It's just a silly narrative. It's nonsense. You hear him post-game, there's nothing more that he wants to do other than win a Larry O'Brien. We've been praising the big man all year long for his willingness and determination to take everybody on this franchise in a backpack and say, I will lead you there. We praised it. We've literally been in love with every step of the way of Joel Embiid showing how bizarrely obsessed he is with winning a title. And that's what it takes to win. Harden has the same thing. He has the same exact thing. Don't say, oh, but he did this, he did that. James Harden has the same exact motivation. And if you don't see that by the way that he's out there balling, then you're missing out on a huge piece of what has been on display for the last 2 games. You are running a professional NBA offense. And if you mock that, well, they only beat the Knicks. Shut up, Brodes. Or they only beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Who cares? Yeah, sure, there's validity to saying that these teams aren't the greatest in the world. But it's not really about did you win or lose on your Sunday or Friday night of the regular season as we're about to enter March. It's does this relate? Does this style of offense that you're running make sense for the long term of an NBA team? Can you actually run this style of play in the most important parts of a playoff series? And the answer is yes. This all works. Pick and roll in the NBA. Ding, ding, ding. Welcome to 2022. You just couldn't do it because of the fraud that wore 25. He was never a threat. James Harden is a major threat. It's just that simple. It really is. So all of this works. Picks and pops, picks and rolls. Tyrese Maxey being the most wide open I've ever seen. Every game, he's just camping out, wide open. Why do you think he's wide open? There's so much annihilation that you have to be aware of when you're the Knicks or you're the Minnesota Timberwolves or you're anybody else. That a great team that has some phenomenal players surrounding the 2 most important, you're screwed as long as the execution's there. And I do anticipate a Tobias Harris getting better. I know it's the easy target. I really do. I know it's the easy blame game. And when you win a game like this, I don't know how your focus is on anything other than, whoa, hold on a second. So Tobias is having a couple tough games. That's your focus? I'll be honest with you. Even if Tobias isn't great, I still think you have enough to do the ultimate job. That's how great your 2 best players are. And Maxey being your 3A right now. So even if he's just average, I still think you have enough. While I get bringing it up, there's 9 billion positives right now. The Tobias factor, you're going to need him to have some moments, no doubt. But guess what? He did today. He could play like shit and garbage. But there was a big 3. And he said, I'm going to shoot it. And he made it. Maybe other players pass that up, and then it ends up being a turnover, or there's hesitation, which I don't like when he hesitates and tries to do a pump fake with basically nobody there. I'm not saying you're not allowed to be disturbed by the Tobias Harris feature right now, but I'm also not just going to pretend like he didn't have a big moment, and we need him for some moments. You don't need to rely on him to be a James Harden. It's different now. And he'll always have the money tied to his name. I know that. He's better than 2 for 9, 3 for 9. He's been involved in the game for too long to be that poor. I'll use this as the example. It's not the same, but it's as the example. Whoa, James Harden's stats are down. I don't think he's going to be good anymore. Well, there's a lot of reasons why his stats were down, but I've seen a full body of work of James Harden to know that the outrageous thoughts of him being washed at 32 and being a bum and he stinks. I've seen too much good basketball to see James Harden play. I've seen him play. I've seen it. I know he's too good for that to be true. Oh, but look at his stats. It's this, it's that. He's too damn good, and he's been around too long to be that poor for time. And what do you know? He looks like a totally different player in Philadelphia. And he doesn't look like the same player that had 22, 10, and 8. He looks even better than that. Because what the stats told you for that window of time isn't really James Harden. He's even better. Imagine that being your floor. Same is said with Tobias Harris. He's better than what he's putting on display, and I'll let the window of his career speak for that. But there's no doubt that it's been uglier than I anticipated for his floor. His floor is devastating. No doubt about it. It's devastating. So he's got to find a way. He's got to dig deep. He did it earlier this year. He dug deep and put together 5 strong weeks. Got to do it again.